Sweat Equity Podcast and Streaming Show, the #1 comedy business podcast in the world. Pragmatic entrepreneurial advice with real raw dog talk. Isn't that right, Eric?
I don't care. I don't care if you say that. Say it all you want.
Hey, man, we're
Doesn't bother me at all.
This is
I
an
don't think it's
award-winning
stupid.
podcast. You see how good we are? We talk over each other. Award-winning podcast because we won 2020's Best Small Medium Enterprise Business Advisory Podcast in the United States thanks to Lux Global Excellence Awards, proudly hosted by Lux Life Magazine. Woo!
You've got some veinage in your head going on right now. Wowie.
Yeah. We've got Max Traylor on, entrepreneur, professional paintballer, author, podcaster, business coach, thinking partner, product creator, and producer of consulting products. Productize your services. All his info will be in the description of this episode. This episode is brought to you by Grasshopper. Try grasshopper.com/sweat. Gets you $75 off an annual plan. The entrepreneur's phone line.
What?
You need an extra business phone number. You can't have it go to your personal and go, who dis? You can't have it go to a Google Voice number and then say no limit studio when you pick up the phone.
Even though that's a good joke.
Even though that's funny. It's pretty funny. Try grasshopper.com/sweat. We'll get you $75. It's the only place. That URL will get you $75 off an annual plan. It's a scalable business phone line. You want a vanity number? You want a 1-800 number? You want a local area code number? It's got it all. You can choose right in the app. Try grasshopper.com/sweat. It's got a desktop app. It's got a mobile app. And we get you $75 off an annual plan.
Yeah.
Who loves you like we do? Let's get this party started. Howdy toddy!
What about my sweat equity? Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity. Sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
We want to just roll into it?
Yeah, roll into it, dog.
Yeah, we can rock and roll. We can rock and roll.
Why don't you,
No hat sounds better.
you
No
do
hat
what you
feels
want,
better.
man.
Got that.
For the video peeps that watch this, they like the hat head, no hat look, I think. You know?
Well, it's new. It's new for me. This is a byproduct of my second kid. I just don't give a. I don't care.
Oh yeah, you're at that point. So how is
Yeah.
how young is the babe? So you and I talked a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I have no idea how you guys know each other.
Craigslist.
Neither do I. I've
misconnections.
even forgotten. So let's not.
Your people reached out to me to come on your show,
That's it.
and I need probably clearance if I'm talking about the day job kind of stuff. Just because I'm new, I don't know what's kosher and what's not. You know,
I see.
We try not to bring up the brands we work for on this
Yeah.
show because it doesn't add any value to us or the show.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it called? So your assistant reached out to me via LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You and I connected, and you did the I usually don't do them, but I was like, it's not hard to do a pre-interview for a podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, it's good on you for being thorough. I'm just like, I don't need my ego's like, I don't need that pre-interview. But
Well, who was getting interviewed? The pre-interview, you or him?
he was pre-interviewing me
Oh.
to go on his show,
We did the
Beers
yeah.
with Max, right?
That's the one. Yeah.
It's on Spotify. We got to do your plugs at the top because I'll forget.
Well, it could be. I mean, but I've been watching some of your stuff, and it had me laughing. I was watching this last episode with your buddy Johnny there. So
Nice.
I'm excited.
Nice.
You guys got a good thing. I get it. I get the
Thanks.
what you're doing.
You like our
We
angle.
need that sometime.
Yes.
Well, I'm listening to it. I'm going, hell if I know what we're going to talk about, but it'd probably
Exactly,
be fun.
yeah.
It'd be cool.
I-
So like, I'll go with whatever.
Look, my love language
Is it cool if I drink? Is it cool if I drink beer? Because
Yes.
Yeah, we
I'll
encourage
lose
it.
Please
myself.
do.
We
Please
definitely,
do.
we encourage it. No, and you speak. I can't speak for Eric, his love language, but I receive it by words of affirmation. So yeah,
That works for me.
we need to hear that.
I
A little,
think.
a little.
Lots of compliments, regardless of what I'm talking about. Lots of compliments for you.
Yeah, I'm a thirsty
What you wanna do.
stand-up. I mean, that's all.
Thirsty stand.
Yeah, that's this show and stand-up is like all about just trying to get some.
And girthy ROI. I don't think I'll ever forget that.
Good.
Yeah,
For as long as
You
I live.
did it.
yeah.
You did
so
it.
I got it in
can't-
someone's
I
head.
can't wait.
stick.
I can't wait for like a proper executive board meeting and going, look, your guys' ROI just ain't girthy enough.
That's-
yes.
that's
please
That's what
do
it is.
that.
That's
I know,
exactly
it's-
how it happened. Because I mean,
it's-
how many
it's,
times have you done reporting for a client? Or
It's always the elephant in the room. It's girth. It's not the length of the revenue stream. It's
Yes.
well, so yeah. Sometimes we get so bored doing like a reporting update for clients or something, and I can see them zoning out. So you just kind of mad libs it and just throw some words in that aren't technically dirty.
you should get like proper porn stars to present it.
If I had that kind of access, I don't know if that'd
This
probably
would be
take
a
over
whole
my
different
life.
I don't know
show.
how much access you need. I
Uh-huh.
don't know how much access you need, really. I think it's an easy market to break into.
Well, maybe. I ain't packing enough heat for that. I can tell you that much. All right, your book,
On with the show.
How to Productize Consulting Services and Do Other Things Better Too. Your agency survival guide. If you're watching this on video, we've got it propped up between Eric and I. I was thinking about this on the way up. So how about this? Explain what productizing means, because it's kind of I think everybody kind of grasped it, but I'll do it in a very bro way. It's taking the things you know how to do,
Making it a product.
making it a product. So
Smart.
that book, Scaling Up, that we've both kind of dabbled in,
Yeah.
talks about every service company ends up selling products eventually when they scale up, and then vice versa the
Yeah.
other way. So when you're a product company, you eventually have services. So you'll see that Apple's doing it. They have a lot of products. They might think they're reaching their market cap, and so they're starting to offer those like Apple TV,
Apple Music subscription.
Fitness Plus, all this subscription stuff. The other way around was, I think, like Infusionsoft, the one that made a bunch of like accounting software. They were doing the services as accountants, and then they made the software and kind of commoditized that, productized that. I guess not commoditized, but they monetized it. How about that? Into a product. That's a bro way of me trying to explain it. What say you? How do you kind of explain what productizing
What
is?
say you, sir? Steps and things. Yeah.
Oh, you want even less information.
Yeah. So I don't know why I chose that word. Maybe I wanted it to sound different. And oddly enough, people reach out to me and they're like, "We're just thinking about productizing." And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I was going to say, I've
So-
never heard it.
Yeah.
That word exactly.
But it just means that if people selling a service don't go into enough detail on the steps that it takes, if you want to use a big word like operations, they don't put enough emphasis on the operations of their service, so they don't know what it costs. Like Nike wouldn't sell a shoe if they didn't know how much it costs to produce it, and yet you've got the best strategy consultancies in the world without standard operating procedure for their services. So you need steps, and then you need reusable things like templates and tools, which again people don't do. So it's more of just a big word for the fundamentals of a professional services business, or the thing that contributes to professional services businesses bleeding out. You need operations and you need reusable tools, and there you go.
Okay, so productizing, the way you would do it, if anybody's listening that has a professional services business, and I kind of tell everybody this, if you really want to scale up, you have to figure out process. Like,
Yeah.
You should just philosophically for your life, figure out some processes, template a lot of life
Yeah.
things,
Scale
habits,
up your life.
routines, like, or you're going to be that person that's always late and like just has just shit all over their car. And
Mm.
like,
Yeah.
always like flustered.
Playing catch up.
Yeah, like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I had all these things
Came
going
out
on."
of nowhere.
You know, those people.
Getting showered this morning.
Right. And it's like, yeah, you know how time works. I don't know how some people are just consistently late that can't argue to me that it's not a power move or like a subconscious like,
Yeah.
power.
My in-laws will give us the we're just jumping into the shower. And
Oh.
it's the time when they're supposed to be here.
Oh man.
Yeah. That well, okay.
Careful with that talk though.
I've got to kind of I wouldn't say I'm on time for everything, but if it's something that's work related or a dinner reservation, a stand-up show for sure, like there's something I'm usually 15 minutes early if I can be. But like a barbecue or a family dinner, meh.
Right.
Unless like the food has to be out at a certain time or you got to feed the kids early, so they have to be there on time. So
There is no late for that though.
yeah,
You know, that's not, you can't even really be late.
right. But I'm guessing the jump in the shower thing is like when they delay a flight that's maybe 2 hours delayed, but they're like, it's delayed 20 minutes.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
like, oh, cool. All right,
Yeah.
that's not too
You
bad.
start to work out all the people in your life who you know to build in that buffer. Oh, okay, you'll be here in 20 minutes? Right. See you in an hour and 20 minutes.
I have to do that for tea times. So I'm a golfer and I got my list of friends where I have to lie to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to do this stupid math for your Dumbo friends that
Idiot
you're
friends can't work a clock.
like, well, it's like, dude, we're gonna do this in perpetuity. Like I have to remember that you're not on time, you're
Yeah.
not punctual. Literally one of the easiest things to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
I'm with you.
college football rule: if you're not 15 minutes early to practice, you're late. One of my best friends puts his watch 15 minutes ahead, like old school, and I'm like, dude, just fucking be on time.
Exactly. That's another thing. Are you tricking yourself with like what? And then you're just going, this thing's fast. I'll be all right. And then they just ignore that anyways. It's like, okay, what are we doing?
Like kind of dovetails time wise. I'm guessing the entry point where you would help a company would be commoditizing the time, actually. So figuring out that cost rate versus bill rate, because if you're a service, a product's easy, like you're talking about. You have a shoe, okay? You can break down the shoe parts, the labor that goes into each shoe, whatever, child labor, if it was the Nike scenario.
Sure.
And
Cheaper. Way cheaper.
we don't talk about that anymore. I don't know why. You know?
Yeah, they just got
That used to be a huge thing in the 90s, and it's just like, nah,
Yeah.
whatever.
we're over it.
It went on to iPhones and Foxconn and suicide nets.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hear some babies in the background.
You got the symphony now. That's my background music.
Yeah, they definitely don't care that you're doing a podcast.
Yeah. Can we do 2 interviews?
Yeah, well,
You guys want to do the extended version? I can just live in my office.
we know you have a ticking clock of how long you can get by without being interrupted, I'm sure. But the
it never ends. Who sold the world on having kids? That's what I want to know.
I want to hear this angle. Go ahead.
But that's my point. What is the angle? Like who showed up and gave the pros and cons and had anything in the pros department?
It's biology, really.
Yeah.
Biology.
I mean, guys are not,
or-
if
mean-
that's what happens, we have a kid from getting laid, fine.
You and Genghis
Deal with
Khan,
that later.
You and Genghis Khan would not be friends. Didn't he sire like a third of the world at one point or something like that?
I think like
Yeah, but
a
he
third
didn't
of the
stick
world
ar-
is
but he
a
didn't-
descendant
okay,
of
so
him.
he
or
didn't
something.
stick around though. I guess the argument is responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Who sold the world on being
Who
a good
sold
dad?
the world on responsibility? I want to meet that.
Like when you want to bounce on your kids, we're right in Florida, man. We're in deadbeat dad territory. So you need to start that new life with the Hooters waitress that you just met because she's really nice to you. She wrote her name with a
She
heart on the
listens
table.
to me, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a before and after interview a year from now
Live from Hooters.
from a trailer park in Alabama.
So I'm guessing that's when you start working with someone to productize their service, I'm guessing that's probably where you'd start. Let's figure out your project management, your labor cost, and let's start breaking that down. No, yes.
Well, I had some experiences growing up and running an agency that made me literally not care about 99% of the services people are selling. like anything where you're building or doing work, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's commoditized. Like building websites, like creating content, the doing of things. I don't like it. I never touch it. I don't care.
Interesting.
Because it's saturated. It's commoditized. You got big old market forces that are training your replacements. And when you're replaceable, the money you can charge goes down. I lived it. I could charge a lot for a website and a lot for blogs, and then blogging became the thing. And these companies like the one you were talking about, and like HubSpot, trained all these agencies, and then the industry was saturated. You can get a blog for $5. The thing that agencies do or should charge for that doesn't follow that rule is strategy, planning, thinking. And so that's the only thing that I focus on. So Productize consulting services. So I usually look at a company and say, you're not charging for the thing that is most valuable and difficult to replace. Your unique knowledge, the planning that you do, the stuff that you're probably giving away for free. And I consider that the key to profitability, the key to controlling client engagements, the key to differentiation. Pick your buzzword, but that's the only thing I think about. And usually people are giving it away either in the sales process or they're bundling it with these commoditized deliverables, which means they never get credit for it. They never make any money on it. Or you look at these big agencies that sell strategy and consulting for like $1 million, and there's zero operations, zero rhyme or reason to it. They just pay people a truckload of money to just like figure it out.
Yeah. To me, the latter is more of what a lot of marketing agencies specifically, they're very good at the business development. They're not so good at the execution. So
yeah, it's a tale of two time periods. You got the fat and happy, old agency that charge millions of dollars for the strategy work and have the big guys in there and they just figure it out as they go and there's no rhyme or reason to it. And then you got the new gritty entrepreneurial agency space that came about from business owners that saw marketing as this new contributor to revenue. But the thing is that like a lot of those business owners that have come up in the last 10 years, they've been trained by software companies, and the software companies want button pushers. They don't want profitable agencies making money on strategy because God forbid they recommend not, their software products. So anyway, but long story short, I get brought in to make sure people are charging for their plans and their knowledge.
So I guess what is the if I'm a professional services business, I'm a small law firm. I own, I'm an attorney. I own a small law firm. And when would I know to contact someone like you to productize what we're doing? I think we're doing pretty good. We got from here to here. We want to get to the next level kind of thing. I know I need some outside help. When is the entry point where someone like yourself comes in? If anybody's listening, they're like, I might need something like this at some point, but I don't know when that threshold hits.
Yeah. My immediate answer is like, when do you start making more money? It's like the silly default answer of like, obviously as soon as possible you want to be making more money and you want to be differentiated. Like who doesn't want to charge more? But honestly, I think it's when you really you know what you're doing. And a lot of people don't give themselves enough credit. A lot of people will go their entire careers and not believe they know what they're doing. Imposter syndrome, real thing. But I'm talking about if you're just starting out and you're figuring it out and you're getting your legs underneath you, yeah, it's not time to invest your time and focus on saying we're going to sell this batch of knowledge and we're going to run this process. It's probably, what's your sample size? Maybe 10 engagements, 20 engagements before you start to say, all right, I can see some patterns here. I can actually ask my paying customers what they get the most value out of, what they get the least value out of. And that starts to give you enough information to say, all right, well, now instead of taking orders from our clients and doing what they want us to do, we're going to kind of come into our own, and we're going to say, hey, it's our responsibility to do things this way, because we're confident that this is how you're going to get, the most value.
So, going from like lead generation to demand generation, as that's a fun buzzword everywhere, where I'm going to tell you what you need from us, or we're not going to work with you, kind of thing. Or, what I was thinking on the drive over here, your book is a meta example of productizing.
Yeah.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Look at the big brain on Brett. Yeah, it's it's what's it called? But yeah, I mean, that's basically what a lot of business books are. I mean, you're given the how-to guide on how your agency can survive. By the way, having that on my desk with people walking by, I made sure to keep the shipping label there, so it didn't look like I was reading this because we need it. I was like, oh no. My new
disclaimer.
friend just sent it to me.
This is just research for the podcast. I'm not. I'm smart. I promise.
It looks like you're trying to survive your job just based on the
right
title.
Yeah, it's like I was like,
how do I survive at
put
an
some other
agency?
self-help books or something.
You'll want to forage for sticks to make a fire first.
Are you there? Or what is it? What's the period book? Are you there? Oh, fuck it.
What?
What's the book? Are you there, Margaret?
Are you there yet?
Fuck it. Man, my brain is dead.
Is it about
Are
periods?
you bleeding right now?
Yeah, it's about periods.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know if you meant it was like a period piece. I guess it still is.
No,
But I'm just saying.
it's not Little
like,
Women.
Yeah. Great expectation.
So you kind of, when we talked previously, you came from kind of generations of entrepreneurial family success stories, it sounded like, from what I recall. And so you kind of got a head start on a lot of people, I'd say, because you're relatively young to be dispensing this kind of knowledge that is what someone would do, later, way later in their career. Can you tell us about your kind of upbringing and kind of how you got to here, I guess? Because this show, really, we want to talk about like how you get from like, I want to do this brand or this idea or this business, and I'm going to do it on the side, my side hustle until I can do it full time. And that's kind of what I hope the audience kind of is listening for, some practical advice on that route. But I feel like your family background kind of set the table for you a bit.
Yeah, I'll give you the short rant to inspire, the short opinionated rant to inspire people. I used to walk into my dad's office when I was 5 years old. My dad tells a lot of stories. The first story that he tells about me, I walked into his office. I was about 5, and I'd say, "Dad, where do you make the money?" And he'd say, "Well," and he realized that I actually thought he was printing money in his office. He said, "No, Max, you can't do that. That's illegal. But I have a digital, scalable, residual business model." And he explained, because I didn't know what the hell that meant, and he explained that if you do something once, you should get paid forever. And I was like, wow, that's pretty powerful. And he was like, well, that's the reason we go to Disney World all the time. And he worked from home, which was really rare. So he was like the coolest dad. He'd always bring like me and my friends to Disney World and everywhere because he was at home all the time. And my takeaway from
your
business,
dad was just a drug dealer by all accounts.
Right, that's
sold weed
possible
to everybody.
That's certainly.
You're gonna owe me for life.
Yeah.
I can do it one time, get
Just
paid
throwing
me forever.
platitudes out, man. Yeah, do it once.
You
man.
don't get out of this game, okay?
That's called heroin. Yeah. Well, that could be it. But my takeaway was that you should put your personal life first, and then you should make decisions about business after you know exactly what you wanted to do with your personal life. And he wanted to play tennis every day and hang out with me as much as possible. So, moral of the story is I get into marketing because I liked marketing, and I started running a professional services company, an agency where you trade time for dollars. And it's a miserably difficult model to scale. And he just kind of laughed and thought I wasn't listening as a kid and said, well, all right, try, go at it. But every time I hit my goals, every time I grew the business, my personal life got worse until I discovered strategy, and I discovered that I could sell strategy for whatever I wanted. We created this like McDonald's version content strategy that we sold for like $2,500, and a couple months later we were selling it for 30 grand because we positioned it properly. We anyway, long story short,
They have
I
perceived
learned that
value.
strategy
Yeah.
perceive value. But the thing about the rest of the services was it didn't play by those rules.
Mhm.
You could say that blog, you could say your website, you could say
Because that's one tactic in amongst.
yeah,
it could
you
be
could
30
say, sure,
different
hey,
others.
it's making you $1 million, so I'll charge you 500 grand. But then they'd go, oh wait, let me Google like all these freelance gig networks. Like I can replace you in a minute. It doesn't matter what it's worth if you're replaceable.
Right.
So we had to create something that was unique in the marketplace where they couldn't shop for it. And it turns out all you need is like a catchy name and a really good story. And then it's perceived as unique. And we had this content strategy for higher education, and we had the history and the the background in working in higher ed. So it was passable. And so we could charge whatever we wanted for it. And it was like $5,000 an hour or something was the equivalent. And it just changed my life because we were scrapping, the barrel, hardly making any money, managing these difficult contracts, making websites and content, all this crap. And we just saw thousands of companies popping up doing the exact same thing. And then here we are making $5,000 an hour, like selling ideas, saying like, yeah, put this over here, put that over here. Here's a nice little formula. Here's some pictures. What do you think of that? And they're like, oh my God, we love you. Who should we work with? And then we'd bring in vendors and make a percentage of the revenue that the vendors were making.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just making residuals on their money. We're the kings of the universe. So that changed my life. And not too long after that, we were asked to teach other agencies how to do that. So now I'm in a licensing model. Now I'm showing people how to do it. They're going out charging $20,000, $30,000 for this process, and I'm making 20% off of everything that they're making. And that was my discovery that intellectual property is worth something. So discovery number one, strategy, you can charge an arm and a leg. Number two, you don't even have to do the strategy. You're the knowledge, the structure behind it. The intellectual property is worth something. So I digress. My message
can I add? You probably had credibility that the strategy worked, right? So like,
I sure hope so.
Really? So you weren't like, hey, here's the content strategy used for these clients previously. It gave them this ROI back, or you could just go, this is the strategy, and just feel fine.
No, you're right. Well, that brings me back to my point about like, okay, when do you have confidence that you know what you're doing and you say, okay, we're going to do things my way, and you stop taking directions from your client that tells you, I want you to build this website, I want it to look like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, hey, what you really want is a website to grow your business. We have a system and a structure to ensure that it's going to grow the most, and we can explain it to you, but we have to do it our way if we're going to take your money. There is a point that you reach where you're confident enough to do it your way. But again, most people are past that point. Most people know how to do it, and for some reason, imposter syndrome, or I don't know why.
Well, you got imposter syndrome on one side, right? And then you got Dunning-Kruger, which our age group and younger has, where you watch a YouTube video and you think you're an expert. So there's a weird, balance between the two kind of thing. Because I'm aware of that one, the Dunning-Kruger effect, because I hate all the kind of tech agencies that that talk a lot of shit and don't actually do it, and I don't believe them, and they don't feel credible at all. I've got imposter syndrome when shit's going well. I guess that's when it kind of comes into effect a little bit, but it's that thing.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of like,
If it's not working, then why would you feel like an imposter?
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, the most sobering thing that you can do, and my business partner is we do this for a reason, is to interview your current and past customers.
Yeah.
on a regular basis. Doesn't matter how long, like interview them and ask them what's going on. Is it working? If it's not working, to what degree? What's wrong with it? That's the only way to know.
Mhm.
And people literally do not talk to their existing customers, let alone their past customers. So they don't know. And one of the things that we do always with every customer as soon as possible is talk to every single one of their customers to understand what they see as most valuable and what they see as least valuable. And what we find a lot with professional service organizations that don't sell strategy, that don't sell consulting, that don't sell planning, is we ask the customers what they see as most valuable, and they basically describe
Yeah.
strategy, consulting, planning, decision support. We go to them because we don't know what to do. They don't describe, well, they created this website for us that's really cool.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. And strategy in my head's always, strategy is a fun idea unless you without execution, it's just a fun idea kind of thing. Like it's a.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it.
I know. I wish you'd talked to me about 7 years ago.
I was gonna say the same thing. Where were you?
Well, we were.
Like,
we
although
were.
retrospect,
coaches,
we were all
like
good.
coaches of professional teams have a job, and it's the same argument. It's like, oh, well, you have to have coaching and you have to have playing. Yes, you do need both, and yet there are business models for both of those pieces. There's a coaching, there's a strategy business model. You've got consultancies all over the place. Sales consultancies are a great thing to look at as an industry that's about 15 years ahead of where marketing is today.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing just recently got a seat at the revenue table, so they're like the new kid on the block. And for the since that happened, it's been largely dominated by build content, build ads. For a short amount of time, you could make margin off of ad spend until the market for creative got really saturated. So that was like a really cool period. That's where like the Mad Men shows came from. Then it just got really shitty, and now it's just eating people alive because you got software companies reducing the barriers to entry, dumping millions of dollars into training, and you got 13-year-olds saying that they're the greatest agency in the world, and clients don't know the difference. And so we can't make money anymore unless we say, hey, the industry is complex, right? Yeah. We're going to sell you answers and plans and knowledge because we're old and we've been around the block. We've done this shit.
Yeah.
And, if you want to really charge a premium, then put a name on it, build a cool story around it, differentiate it.
Well, also your branding is another intangible that a lot of people should pay for, and they probably let's just go from the marketing agency aspect, they'd probably just throw it in there with the services, just like strategy, like you're saying. And so branding it correctly, I think, is also, there's a brand strategy to what you're doing, but also how you're trying to teach them. We're getting into more of an intangible kind of society or marketplace. So branding is another thing that's like, what is that? When you ask people what strategy is, you can get a wild amount of answers, right?
Plan. It's a plan.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yes.
We going to do this.
Right.
That's a strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how your definitions are more caveman than
Didn't think you could top us on cavemaning things, but good job.
Brevity's the soul of wit.
Yeah.
But it's that thing of like, I'm sure you got to that point because you've talked about this probably since you're 5.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the strategy with your dad selling weed, in the turf that you all could sell in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he actually learned more about the do not call laws than anybody else because he figured that compliance would never go, like you would never fire the compliance guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know anything about it, but that's what he figured. Like I want to do anything I want to do, so I need to pick something that will never be fired, compliance guy. And so he just learned about it, blogged about it, made videos about it. If you Google do not call protection, you will find Bob Tritt's all you'll find. And he just told companies like, hey, when people call me I'm going to recommend they work with you, and I want 20% for life. And they were like, no, we pay our salespeople 4%. And he was like, well, great. Well, here's a deal. Here's a deal on a silver platter. I'll talk to you next week. And they're like, what? And then you give them another deal and another deal until they had to work with them. Until they had to work with him.
Uh-huh.
He played by his rules, and he's still getting paid for deals that he did, 15 years ago. He doesn't make an arm and a leg. He makes like $200,000 a year, but that's enough to play tennis whenever you want.
Yeah, but he hit his goals. It's like you said. He started with, what do I want to do?
Personal life.
Yeah, what do I want to do?
Life first.
Yeah, what do I want to do? And I'm going to reverse engineer it from there.
And unfortunately, like we grow 9 to 5, if that, and then you got this, then you got this like work your ass off culture for a while that said like, oh, you work on the weekends, like, it's like the American dream or something. I don't know, where you just like sacrifice everything to work your ass off for the man. But I think that's shifting a bit. Especially during COVID, where people are working from home and realizing that for the last 10, 20 years, they've been driving to and from work and wasting 4 hours of their life every single day, not to mention being really pissed off in traffic, like the mental toll that takes on you. So there's just been so much
Can't wait to get the
nonsense.
Cybertruck.
There's so much nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm going to get fucked up and let it drive me everywhere.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Yes, that was cool. I had a unfair advantage in that I grew up with like someone telling me, look, there are no rules. Like you can sell anything you want to whoever you want for whatever price you want, as long as you just like decide that's what you want to do. And as long as you know that when you are successful with that, you'll have like a good life. People don't think about that. They're like, all right, I'm gonna like, build this whole business and it's gonna be successful, but they don't think about like what their personal life is gonna be like when they are successful. And it's usually a complete sacrifice.
Yeah, and what's interesting as we're talking to you, you don't have the disposition of a lot of guys that are what I would think in your position. Like, these former agency owners or whatever, they're all kind of twitchy and like almost like a friend that stopped drinking and is always like smoking cigarettes and tapping a tree. That kind of antsy, like that kind of energy. And they
kind of celebrate that their phone is ringing off the hook 24/7 and like they were at the office for 12 hours.
Yeah. You get a productivity boner.
Ooh, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
girthyroi and productivity bonus. Yeah. That's it.
And your dad was given that big girth energy. Yeah. But yeah, but it sounds like, that we talk about it in relationships, like that person that's so anxious and eager and just, trying to ask out a girl. She's never like, yeah, sweet. I want that energy around me.
The people that attract are the ones that really know themselves. And I think that's what I was given, is like, you figure out what you want your personal life to be like. That's you having confidence in who you are. That guides every business decision. And the fact is that when you put your personal life first and you stop thinking about working 8 hours a day and 5 days a week and things like that, then you start making business decisions that to everyone else in the world sound completely crazy. Like, what do you mean you can do that? And that's what got me into this business. Wasn't like I could help people make more money. That was easy. Anybody could do that. It was a few times when people were like, yeah, I just spent 6 months in Africa with my family, and while I was there, my business doubled.
Yeah.
And that was something that you did. And I was like, whoa, that's a different feeling. Or like a client I have now, she's like, yeah, I've made, it's May, I've made more money this year than I've ever made an entire year before. And oh, by the way, I'm still doing the 3 days a week thing.
Interesting.
You're only working 3 days a week. So that's what I try to, start with people is like, no, what do you actually want? You like kids, you like snowboarding, you like doing these things. Great. Well, how about you do more of that than work? And that's going to force you to do some things like double your prices, which I don't care who you are. Everyone should double their prices today. Because it's simply the start of a better conversation.
You can always go down in price.
You can always go down.
Yeah. That's the
And,
theory,
and for
right?
some reason, perceived value goes up the more you charge. If I was sitting here telling you that in order to work with me, it costs $1 million, your first thought would be like, A, who the hell pays this guy $1 million? And B, what what comes with that? So there's a perceived value to pricing yourself higher. And when it's too much, it's the start of a really good conversation. You get a lot of really great information when they want to work with you, but it's too much money. When you charge too little, you don't learn anything. You just get a yes. And you're like, oh, that was easy. And it's clouded by, the happiness that you got the deal. But in reality, you left a lot of money on the table and you didn't learn anything about their buying process, where the money's coming from, who makes the decisions, any of that.
Risk of the relationship, that kind of stuff.
Right. The best thing that you can do is get a no because it's too expensive. It's the greatest that you should go out and do that as many times as possible.
Fuck. I had another thought. Damn.
Go sell my body.
Yeah.
Tell them got some news.
Fuck.
Cheers to you.
Nice.
Yeah, cheers.
I like the drinking.
Well, I come prepared. I call this the COVID cocktail. When you have 2 kids, you go get your second COVID shot, grab yourself a few beers, and you have yourself a night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go off beer, lose a little weight. It's actually been working, sadly, because that's how much beer I've been drinking.
I did that for a while, but I unfortunately I interviewed a health conscious person, and she said that the best thing to drink is pure vodka.
So
I took
I'm
her
listening.
advice.
Yeah. And it helped.
There's a downside.
Well, yeah. If you drink more of it, it's probably not great. More than the equal amount.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. It might be healthier for your body, but it doesn't. Long term, we should all just
Do
stop
mushrooms.
drinking or take
Smoke
periodic breaks.
Yeah. I don't like to do anything too much. Moderation in terms of moderation, or whatever that Oscar Wilde quote. I butcher
You
it
are
all the
dumb
time.
today.
Dude,
You
yeah.
normally pop those off, no problem.
Yeah, popping off. I'm trying to think. We ask everybody that comes on the show, and I'm sure I'm gonna have about 40 questions as soon as we're done here, because I'm gonna go about the rest of my day and be like, I should ask this.
Like I said, I got 2 kids right outside that door, and I'm happy where I am.
Yeah.
So your goal is to have kids.
Max wants to go 3 hours, baby.
Your goal is to have kids, but
I
ignore them.
can't. I'm still podcasting.
No, you know what I think about is time. And the thing that everybody talks about that I've talked to, I asked a lot of older, successful people, because you find out that you think the busiest, most successful people are too busy to dispense advice. And it's quite the opposite. No one really asks them, I find, in general. I'm talking.
Well, who says the most successful people are the busiest?
That a lot of people think they are, right? Like they assume it, right? Because they're successful. Because
Good problems.
Right. Because we correlate those, right, with the American kind of work ethic of getting to that higher echelon, right? In business. I find that they don't get asked a lot. A lot of them are like, I wish more people would ask me
Nobody talks
questions, because I'd be happy to tell them everything I know a lot of the time. Time is the one thing I find from everybody that I've talked to that's over 50 and been successful, what I would deem successful and what they wanted to accomplish. And time is the through line of I wish I didn't spend a lot of time on bullshit like chasing bad clients and trying to make a deal when you haven't doubled your service price. Those kind of things where you're spinning your wheels all the time and you're not really you didn't really think it through. I think about that a lot right now, divorced dad life, because I'm like, okay, well, I've got the kids 50% of the time, of the week. I'm going to try to be a little bit more present, try to be more present with them, try to plan stuff I don't want to be an aloof dad, right? Divorced dad. You don't want to be the guy that's like, I'll just let you, you you didn't have to bathe every day at my place, you know. And then they become the smelly kid at school and shit, and they're just wearing the same clothes every day. Like, you know, those like aloof divorced dads that just like they have stories later like, Dad, I can't believe you just let me eat Cool Ranch Doritos every night, kind of thing, like that kind of shit.
I'm not there yet, but my wife's listening. So
hi. But you know, I think about time, and like I used to try to do the thing where I'm watching the babies when they were babies and try to work at the same time, and I burned out bad. And I think time, if there's a through line of this whole conversation, it is like, what do you want to do? But really, it's like, what do you want to do with your time in the future? Oh,
I got a few things to say about time. I think the biggest mistake.
I just watched Inception on mushrooms, so take that for what it's worth.
Oh goodness! Well,
and Interstellar.
That's a Interstellar.
Yeah.
Ecstasy.
Uh,
Too much. Don't do that.
No.
Not a good use of time. But anyway, back to time. A big mistake people make is to equate time with value. And you know, their big problem is I tell them double your prices, and they say, "Oh well, you know, it only takes us 10 hours," and you know, we can't justify that cost. But I had to life hack my dad one time because my dad wouldn't charge for his advice. And I said, Dad, I want you to hold up your right hand and tell me that everything you have learned for your entire life is worth nothing. And he couldn't do it. And the reality is that when you're selling strategy, when you're selling planning, when you're selling your knowledge, you are not selling your time. You are selling access to a lifetime of accumulated knowledge. Number one, it's priceless. Number two, it goes up in value every single day. That's what I think about time.
That's good.
It's wisdom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Knowledge times experience equals wisdom, kind of thing.
Squared.
Sure.
Why not?
Well,
Cube.
I feel like okay.
Cube that bitch. Who cares?
Mhm.
It's more expensive. And you know what? Here's another thing about raising your prices. Double your prices. If you get a no, get 4 more no's, then split the difference.
Yeah. You can always go, hey, we got a promotion, or we've got something going on. You can have a reason to follow back up and go, hey, we can do it at this.
No, yeah, it's
But you're saying you're setting your market price by figuring that out.
It's law. I can solve all your problems. It's gonna be $40,000.
You can solve my impotence problems.
Okay.
No, it's too expensive. Give it to me.
It's too expensive.
We don't
can't
have
afford it.
$40,000. Well, law. You know, I think today is your lucky day because I got more business than I can handle. I am extremely confident that I can have a major impact on you, and I know it's the right thing to do. What does it need to look like to work together? Because I just kind of want to do it. What does it need to look like? If you're into it, I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably work it down to, if you can do something in the 20.
Whatever
25,
comes after that, it doesn't matter. Whatever
Right.
comes after that doesn't matter. You've set your perceived value, right? And you set that high.
Yep.
And maybe the day before you were charging 20 grand.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're going to feel like they got a deal for 21,000, 25,000. Maybe you get the 20, but you have a little equity. Maybe you get 20, but you have a little revenue share on the top. So you put yourself in a really powerful negotiating position while making them feel like they're getting a deal. You got to raise your prices. It's sobering.
Yeah, and here's a practical tip. If you do like your invoices monthly for someone or whatever, make sure to cross out, give them the full rate and then cross it out. Make sure the discount's on there every time you do it. So they know that that's your rate and you cut it for them every month or every time they get a bill. So they know that your value's there every time.
And then when they don't pay,
take them to
you
court.
go for that top one that was crossed out.
Which I've got about 5 fun old bad debt clients about to get that notice in the mail.
One time I interviewed a business consultant that was an auctioneer. That her profession was an auctioneer, and she would teach people how to always raise her price, like the exact opposite of what we're talking about, and talk about the value of raising your prices every time and saying, hey, I usually charge this much, but for you, I'm going to charge more. Really interesting, really interesting person to talk to. In other words, the perceived value or what happens mentally when you know that you're paying more than everybody else. Because there are people out there that relish in the fact that they pay more for things that other people pay less for, like cars.
Ooh,
Oh,
I got an example for you. This is what I was trying to think of, and I couldn't. Here's a recent company. It's a product company mostly that doubled the price of their product, and it was publicly known, and they sold more than anybody pre-COVID era. Peloton bikes.
Explain that. Like, how do you do?
Peloton was
How do you
already
do
an
it?
expensive bike system, right? It was, and then they doubled it. They just doubled the prices, and they didn't add any value or anything. They didn't have a new product line that came out. They just straight up doubled them, and they fucking crushed it. Because what you're talking about is on the consumer level, people want to go, be very smug. I've got a Peloton.
Yeah.
Like,
Trust me.
and you want to be that hot chick in the commercial that really doesn't exist. That gets up at 4:30 and bikes before the family wakes up.
Well, here's another fun story about pricing, because during COVID, all of my advice here went out the window. So during COVID, we decided my business partner and I came up with a service, and we called it "Oh Shit." That's what we called it, "Oh Shit." And the premise was you pay what you can.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out Panera Bread did that. Panera Bread did that at a location in there you go. There's
San
the beer for
Francisco,
you.
California.
Poughkeepsie.
Sure, that's not it. It's like an Atlanta location. Thank you. Took San Francisco to get there.
You're welcome.
And
Yeah,
they
get
made
confused a lot.
and their sales skyrocketed, because it turns out people don't know what a muffin costs. So they just came in. They're like, "Oh wow, you're doing
Just
pay
a
what you
muffin,
can.
$20.
Here's $5. They get a muffin and a coffee, and all of a sudden it was the equivalent of raising their prices 50%. Same thing happened to me. I took on about 20 customers at a time when no one else was taking on customers. People were not going to pay me the 30 grand that was my price point at the time. It wasn't going to happen. So we created, we interviewed all of our past customers. We said, what's the most valuable thing we've ever done? We took that little piece and we made it the "Oh Shit" program. We said, all right, this is what we'll do. And we put like a $6,000 price point on it. And we said, pay what you can. And we took people on at 500, as long as anything. I said, on the calls, I said, you have to decide right now. I don't have time for this. The world's ending. I don't have time to negotiate with you.
Sense of urgency.
Pick it. And by the way, the freaking the time I saved closing deals right there and not having to follow up and I said, there is no proposal. You pick a number between $1 and $6,000, and we start working tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I took on 20 clients during COVID, when otherwise nothing else would have happened. Most of the people paid half up front and maybe half of those people never paid the second half, but
Sure.
So like 20, I don't know, maybe 10% paid full price. We had a couple people pay full price. We had a couple people pay half. We had a couple people do installments, $1,000 here, $1,000 there.
Mm-hmm.
But the moral of the story is,
You kind of,
I don't know if
you figure out your market price is a lot of, the market demands what the market demands, right? So it sounds like you're doing almost experiments with that, with your business.
I think the moral of the story is that people are trying to sell things. And they're not listening to what people need and then asking what they would pay for it. And because they are not disciplined enough to have everything they do in having operational procedures, knowing what everything costs, to then say, okay, you have this problem, you have this much budget, I know what I can do for you and still be profitable and still have that engagement lead to a more consistent, ongoing consulting thing. So maybe that's the point. I don't know.
Well, I feel like we could talk this philosophy, strategy, all this stuff for hours. We'll have you back on. I'm gonna read this book and need to figure out how to take this podcast, productize it into a book as well. What's it called? We ask everybody that comes on, what advice would you give your 13-year-old self? So you can time travel. You can go back in time.
He understands the question.
Well, his eyes widened very big. His pupils started getting bigger, so maybe he's on something. So maybe we just blew his mind.
Business wise, can we keep it business wise?
It can be business. It can be personal. It can be.
Did you have a business at 13?
Flipping pogs?
My first business was teaching my foreign college classmates how to ace class participation, because I went to a school with a lot of Middle Eastern women, and in their culture you don't speak up. Turns out that a lot of courses in high cost colleges are based on participation. Made some good money with that.
Really?
Weird.
So
if you're talking first businesses.
Yeah, and at 13, is that what you said?
Maybe I would have told my 13-year-old self just to do that. Just call it quits. That's your business. Do that. There's a good market for it. Simplify. No, I would have told myself that earlier on I would have designed the personal life that I wanted. I didn't, I heard my dad's advice, but I was still in this culture of, all right, I'm going to go to college, totally unnecessary. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to find a 9 to 5 job. I'm going to, have this career, and that's what I'm going to measure my self-worth on. And I would have told myself, yeah, that's complete bullshit. Just like, you want to work 1 day a week? Great. Multiply your prices by 5. There's your 1 day work week.
Do you think you needed that though to get to where you are now?
No, because you need. I think a powerful motivator is knowing what it's like. Because when you're working 3 days a week, or when you're doing your own thing, what's guaranteed is that you're going to have you're going to have more advice. You're going to have more people telling you you're crazy than people telling you you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because 99% of the people you interact with are going, well, you're crazy. That's risky. I got this job over here. This is what you should be doing. So
they're projecting their own fear too.
Yeah, they're protecting their own values and what they grew up with. So even if I had stumbled into doing the right thing, to your point, at 15, 13 years old, I would still be grass is greener on the other side. And I would still have thrust myself into what everybody else says was the thing. And, because doing your own thing ain't easy. It's scary as hell. But when you're successful at it, you're actually happy. Whereas when you're successful at, typical career stuff, you end up making too much money, and you get fired when you're the person that's making the most money, and then you have to start over. And I think that's what my dad put the fear in me, is like, you don't want to be in a position where you'll have to start over. People say entrepreneurs or people doing their own thing are at risk. Well, there's nobody that can take all of my clientele and all of my income all at once. There's nobody that can do that. And yet everybody that works for somebody else, everybody that has a full-time professional job, there is a single person with their finger on the button that could make your income disappear tomorrow. That's risky.
Yeah. And cryptocurrency trading. Yeah, that too.
Also that. Yeah.
Divorce.
And I understand the comedy business is quite difficult as well.
Man, I need to take a more calculated approach to that career, but that's I kind of bucketed anything artsy as you don't make money.
You can sell an online course of how to start your online career in comedy. Sell your knowledge.
You haven't seen my act, so
why don't you listen to some jokes first?
Let's see if I'm qualified.
Teaching people.
Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where No, I don't want to keep us going. I'll keep us talking, and we got to cut it off because Eric's got a hot date. But
You realize I'm incentivized for the opposite.
what? Not dating
Keep
Eric.
this going as long as
Oh,
effing possible.
you can just you can just
pretend.
just talk. Just talk and talk.
guys.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Well, I appreciate the fam letting you do this. As they're probably your wife's probably waiting on you to have a break, like that. All right, and then dump everything on you. That thing. But
Children leading against the door.
but we'll have you back on, man. This is wildly interesting, and appreciate randomly connecting like we did.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
What about my sweat equity?